The Jervois Bridge was built to span the Port River and link Semaphore with Port Adelaide. For 2 decades previously, people had been forced to trudge across sandhills and then be rowed across the river. Built to carry pedestrian, rail and road traffic, it was officially opened on the 7th of February 1878 by the Governor of South Australia. The original bridge closed in 1966 to make way for a new bridge. The remnants of the original bridge received a historic engineering marker from Engineers Australia.
The Jervois Bridge was actually the first bridge linking Port Adelaide settlement with the Lefevre Peninsula. So the first Jervois Bridge was actually called the Port Bridge, and it was built in 1859. The bridge links St Vincent Street and Hart Street in the port, so it helped people to find a direct route to Semaphore and allowed people to go down the peninsula. People had been walking from Semaphore across the sandhills to the river and then waiting for a boat to row them across into Port Adelaide. So it was a long process. The bridge made it much easier. The first bridge was damaged and it was replaced in 1875 by a great big 5-lane bridge that had a railway track straight down the middle of it. It was built in England and it had a magnificent ironwork gallery with a wooden tower on top where the bridge was controlled. The original bridge, the wooden one, had a drawbridge. This one had a rotating section still so that it opened up and boat traffic could travel further down the river. The bridge also had problems in hot weather. Sometimes it would get jammed open and they would have to call in the local fire brigade to pour water onto the metal mechanism to cool it down, or they would have to get a tug in to drag it closed. The bridge carried water pipes and gas pipes to the peninsula, and every time the bridge opened, the power supply, the gas supply and the water supply were both cut off. Eventually, a water tower was built at Semaphore and a gas storage station was also built on that side of the river, so they overcame the problem that way. There was a third bridge that was built in 1969. The old gantry or gallery was no longer needed, and that gantry was taken off of the bridge in the last reconstruction in 1969. It was restored and it now rests beside the bridge. The bridge, it is an important historic structure because of its story and its importance to the port in the early days. And I think the history of it is really interesting, the history of our settlement in Port Adelaide, how people struggled in the early days. I think it's just an important reminder of how things have changed.